Many people's knowledge, including my own, was coalesced to put this all together. I did put the puzzle pieces together, however, which I could not have figured out without the others' contributions. I thank each and every person that shared their knowledge and experience with me to help get this important explanation of one of the layers of the AI matrix and be able to disseminate it to the peoples, todos los gentes. To any coven members or still inured in the programs, persons that come across this, know that not any one person told me all of this. I alone put it all together. So if any of the individuals whom I have mentioned in this document are targeted in any way, you are coming after the wrong person. And in fact, if you come after me or any whom I have mentioned, or even persons whom view this and discuss it in any social media platforms, be forewarned. Any and all attacks of any sort will come back to you thousandfold. Now is the time for this story to come to the full light of consciousness. There is nothing you can do to stop it, or humanity from knowing what truths we have gleaned from your own hidden in plain sight disclosure and actions upon us. It is time for all to wake up. One more important aspect that needs to be clarified now is that some amount of discussion about Christianity included in this presentation. There are some present features of this presentation that may offend Christians who do not have an open mind. Fact is, sadly, the original teachers who came to earth in the long past were impersonated by extraterrestrial species who had the ability to look and sound just like the original teachers of humanity. I do not profess to be a biblical scholar, so the detailed facts that I am aware do exist in the Bible will be lacking in this presentation. A good amount of knowledge shared by the original teachers of humanity are in some portions of the gospel text which were dropped from the Bible. The heartfelt resonance I have with some of those tells a tale of just what humanity lost of our original teachers' teachings. That being said, I know there are good Christians just as there are good humans. Simple as that. One who does unto others as they would do unto themselves, so long as they are being good to themselves. Of course, that's a relative concept, good. Let's play masters and servants, shall we? Service to others is a conscious choice of a person who has found balance within the real kingdom of heaven. Finding balance is the intent behind this video presentation. That requires some tough concepts being spoken of and a lot of hypnotic spells being broken of certain labels, words, and names, and dark magic practices. Also, please try not to forget while viewing this video presentation of what the Draco species, the Sicars, the Draco species have done on Earth. Remember that there is service to other Draco souls here as well. More than a few have grown past the abuse their species has made upon the norm, has made upon them that became the norm, rather. Charlatans in our beliefs, Draco in our religions. The Saturn moon matrix layer and charlatans behind its inception first needs the meaning of charlatan defined, plural noun charlatans, a person falsely claiming to have a special knowledge or skill, a fraud. In the original presentation, the word charlatans was chosen in the title in terms of one specific fraud, Ra, or Marduk by his Draco name. This is but one of several very service to self ET species that came to this planet to play God in our culture. Humanity, in whatever forgetting, traumatized state we were in at that time, allowed us to be fooled by them. And we were fooled many times over in a gradual step-by-step way that subtly took humanity far off our own path of soul growth, a path we were on before the prime directive law of non-interference that natural creation upholds was broken. These extraterrestrial species made their actions appear as rule bending outside of here to the galactic councils, so to speak, to prolong the game. Actions done by various warriors for our planetary being have since, in this year of apocalypse, revealed these rule breakers for what they are above and below. It is a deep rabbit hole. Some paths will only be touched upon. It's up to you, the viewer, my dear esteemed viewer, fellow celestial intelligencer of the Gnosis Zone, to dig deeper into the research that interests you, that speaks to you, that resonates with you. That being said, this presentation, if it does not resonate with you, simply laugh it off as some goofball in his little light show. Practice discernment. Your sovereignty and empowerment of your own divine matrix is crucial. I hope this message finds you well. By no means do I encourage any in-depth study into the dark magic side of this presentation. The point is to make clear the way out of the game, the matrix, the digital matrix, to set a fire of natural creation underneath each of our collective and individual butts, so to speak, to get clear of the programming. The coven and program members' rituals scarred us with, each to their own fashion, that is. Dark magic practices, even if read about, can lead to attachments and imbalances energetically, psychically, and if we are not careful, that will be true. That will be the case. We each need to empower ourselves towards the middle way of balance that the genuine teachers of humanity taught. The Christianity that we currently have on earth and the other closely similar religions to it on the planet are literally a mockery of the original teachers. To put it simply, the Yahweh of the Bible was played by several Draco Anunnaki. The spelling of the word Christianity itself is a creation and conflagration of a couple of God names. Krishna and Jesu are Isus, Jesus, and Isus, whom was not a nice Gaulish god. Isus was first depicted in the 1st century, 200 years later at the Council of Nicaea. The two ancient god names were merged to form the name of Jesus Christ by Constantine I, whom did the first of many rearrangements of the Bible and its Gospels. So, before Marduk, aka Ra, aka Osiris, who was just simply the most recent impersonator, the same roles were originally played by Anu, his grandfather, and the two sons of Anu. Anu's time being the solar god was most likely in the times just after the fall of Atlantis. This was the kinder version of the Matrix that they built for humanity initially, but it failed just as the first Matrix mentioned in the Matrix movies did. It was too perfect. So another was built for us 13,000 years ago. The one we are in now, God then became more about wrath than love. So all three took turns playing Yahweh in the Bible. Each one's behavior, attitude, and intent was behind the biblical rewrites that occurred repeatedly throughout our history. A twisted game of one-up lizard ship taking the piss on us. The Draco were not the only extraterrestrial species that impersonated good beings here, but for simplicity's sake, let's begin with one extraterrestrial species at a time. This potentially is a very complicated subject, as one can tell if they have read any materials on the internet about the Saturn matrix. It definitely involves many of the dark magic practices of the covens and programs, all of which our consent to them is gained via obscure fictional disclosures, first in the Bible itself, then later in books, movies, and TV shows, aka the digital matrix. More to follow. Namaste, namaskaram.